Welcome to the Imperfect Dads Podcast. This is your host, Devin. We believe dads care deeply about their family and kids, but they don't always have a space to discuss what their life looks like. Our podcast is a space for dads to discuss the ups and downs of fatherhood and how they feel like they're holding it together or how they're not. Thank you for joining us for this episode. This podcast is part of the Never a Face Network. Make sure to follow them on Instagram or go to the website neverafacenetwork.com. On this episode, we have an author, lawyer, and therapist, Lauren Tetenbaum. We talked about kids crafting, being a cool mom, having the best snacks at your house, how she became a lawyer, social worker, and advocate for women, writing her book, what it's like being on a book tour with a family at home, and trying to answer the question of what the F is menopause. Her new book is called Millennial Menopause, Preparing for Perimenopause, Menopause, and Life's Next Period. And it does specifically have a chapter for men about if your wife or partner is about to go through menopause or perimenopause, just how to treat them, how to be nicer, what to be aware of. So I do recommend this book if you are married or have a partner, because it's a phase of life they will enter into, and it will just tell you to be more empathetic and nice. And that's always a very good reminder. And also just like one more thing.
Dad, just start the episode.
Oh, my bad. So, hey, Lauren, welcome to an episode of The Imperfect Dads. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Devin.
Of course. I'll start with one of the most basic, easy questions. It's how many kids do you have, ages, all that good stuff.
I have 2 kids. My son is 9.5. My daughter is 7. And I have a dog who's behind me. If
he's cute. It's a cute dog. She's a cute dog. What's the, so my 2 oldest kids are 9 and 7, and they are 23 months apart. What's like the month difference between your kids?
So they're 2.5 years exactly.
Okay. Yeah. That's, I feel like it was really good to have kids that close together now that they're older. But the first year of my second born's life, I can't tell you a single detail about.
Well, we're so sleep deprived, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to, you're in survival mode in many ways. But I really believe it's true that the days are long and the years are short, because I can't believe that my son is about to be 10. That's wild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My daughter, or my oldest daughter, will turn 10 in February, and totally with you. Like, I'm like, wait, you've been like, I've been a dad for 10 years. Like, that seems ridiculous. And you've been around for 10 years. Man, that's so cool.
It is cool. And he's totally my best friend. But sometimes I do get nostalgic, like, wow, in 8 years, which is less than how old he is now, he'll presumably be moving out and, being a grown up.
It's sweet. What's he into nowadays? Since he's about to be 10, are you still able to keep up with his interests, or is he getting more into like, Mom, you don't even know, you don't understand type of energy?
Both. He always says things. He's like, well, you were a kid in the 90s, and that's just not how it works these days. I'm like, okay, buddy. But I'll say things like, I'm a cool mom. And he's like, cool moms don't say that.
Oh,
I know. But he's my friend. And he, yesterday we went to the movies together, and he said to me, can we go to the movies every Sunday? So we have our little,
that's sweet.
Rituals. Yeah.
Yeah. I always think if someone's willing to give me grief or give me crap, to me, that speaks to comfort in the relationship. I don't know if that's a healthy thing or not, but if someone's not giving me grief about something, I'm like, I don't trust you for some reason.
Yeah. No, we joke around, and I do think I'm a cool mom, but I'm pretty strict about things like video game, not all video games, but certain ones, etc.
Yeah, I think I'm assuming we're about the same age. And we were raised where our parents had no idea what the internet was, what video game. They grew up with Ataris. They didn't know what video games could be. So all of our generation being like, yeah, no, you're just not going to spend all day on a computer. That's what I did. This is what it turns into. So I'm not letting you do that.
Yeah, definitely a millennial perspective, right? We know a little too much.
We do. What's your daughter into? What's your relationship with her? What's she into right now?
So she is a total artist. She's very creative. She just last night was building a dollhouse out of our cardboard trash.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Which is great. And yeah, she's super artsy, and she, she's very into mommy, but we have a lot of fun. We just celebrated her birthday with a disco pajama party with a bunch of her friends. Yeah, it was cute.
Did you do that at home or did you go somewhere to have a disco pajama party?
We went to a play space that my friend owns in our town,
Hmm.
and it's an awesome place and has a dance studio. And we just, listened to music and had Dunkin' Donuts.
Nice. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
it was great.
What do you remember any of your birthdays growing up? It's really fun to be on this side of it where you're planning the memorable birthday parties. And then
Yeah.
I try to remember what my birthday parties were like. Do you remember any memorable birthday parties that you had as a kid?
I do. I was never athletic, never sporty, and very stereotypical girly. I had like a makeup party once at a spa.
Nice.
I had movie birthday parties, and I especially remember a party where we were playing characters in a book and like solving a mystery novel, which is very representative of my personality. And I just loved reading.
Yeah.
So somehow we turned that into a birthday party.
That's awesome. What was like one of your favorite books growing up or like a book series you were really into?
I mean, Babysitter's Club,
Of
Sweet
course.
Valley
Yeah.
High,
Yep.
all the series.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My daughter's just watched the Babysitters Club that's on Netflix now.
Netflix,
Have you? Yeah. Have you? I'm assuming you've watched that with your daughter.
Yes, I actually watched it with my son a couple years ago. And you know
Okay.
what else we recently did, which I recommend highly? We watched Full House, and
Yeah.
it was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always funny to be like, I remember watching this a lot as a kid and then watching it as an adult. Because there's some like Goonies and Gremlins. I'm like,
We
why
just
was
watched
this?
Goonies. I know. We were like, my husband and I were looking at each other like,
I don't know. There's a lot of murder and a lot of weird. Okay.
I know. You totally get jokes now that went way
Way over your head.
Yeah.
Way over your head. Especially like Ghostbusters. I'm like, how is Ghostbusters? It was a kid's movie. Like, was it a kid's movie? I don't know, but there's a lot of references in this that were just for adults to look at each other and be like,
Yeah, I know. I think that's what makes a good, TV series or
Yeah.
movie for kids. It's for the adults to enjoy as well, but
Pretty
with
much.
a little bit of a wink wink.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Okay. So if your daughter's into crafting and turning trash into something that's fun, how are you with the chaos that comes with that creativity? Because I feel like whenever I walk into the room after my daughters or my son have done that, I'm just like, am I the one who cleans this up? I don't want to kill the vibe. This is a lot, guys. Please help me out.
Funny you should ask, because last night I went on a cleaning rampage and it's amazing to see what she does, but then she leaves a mess in her wake, with the literal scraps from whatever she's cutting and all the pens and the caps all over the place. And, there's tape on the floor. I don't know
Everywhere.
why.
Yes.
So we try to encourage, her, of course, to clean up after herself and emphasize that when things are in their place, it's easier to find them when you're looking. But sometimes she'll build something and she'll say, okay, well, this is its place, right in the middle of the kitchen table. And I'm like, no,
Fantastic.
it doesn't live here. So it's a work in progress. We definitely don't have it figured out.
I'm not a neat freak person, but I am I'd rather not trip over something and die in my own house today person, which I think is reasonable.
Totally.
And I think that's where that conflict comes in for me is I'm like, hey, I love that you guys are playing with magnet tiles. I'm glad you built a whole world. It's everywhere. And I've stepped on 5 magnet tiles now and I'm losing my kind voice. So can you help me not be a mean dad? I'm not putting the responsibility on you, but also at the same.
I love that versus I'm losing my shit. You don't say that.
Basically, yep. I don't. If I step on one more damn magnet tile, you guys are,
No,
but it's crazy because like creativity does have chaos to it. So it is, I never want to like shame my kids, but also like if I know I'm the one who has to clean it up later, I do kind of hedge like, hey, let's not make this messier than it needs to be. So it's a fun balance to find.
Yeah. Or finding like an area in the house that is meant to be chaotic, but she loves to be with us. And I feel like we're usually in the kitchen. And so that's often the scene of the crime.
Yeah. Do you do a lot of like cooking or baking?
I do not cook at all. My husband cooks. I bake sometimes, but mostly like out of a box. But they're delicious brownies. So
I do all the cooking and all that for the family. So I feel like, our kitchen is our common space as well. Because there's always something where I'm like, oh, I needed to make this for such and such. So that's fun.
Yeah. And you're always snacking and there's like the comfortable couch off the kitchen.
Always.
Yeah.
I feel like my snack drawer is very well stocked, and I don't remember what my snack drawer was like growing up. How's your snack drawer game these days?
My snack drawer game is awesome. So I don't cook, like I said,
Yeah,
but I
yeah, yeah.
really pride myself on good snacks. And
Yeah.
I think that was a value instilled in me by my parents because
Yes.
we always had good snacks. And I'm talking, everything from cookies to really good fresh fruit
Yeah.
or good cereal selection, like quite a range.
Yeah.
And just the other day, my daughter's friend said, "You guys have the best snacks." And I said,
You've
"Thank
arrived.
you."
You've arrived.
I said, "I agree."
To me, the houses that had kudos bars were like these people are fancy. That was for some reason in my head as a kid.
Do they still make those? Like,
I think they might. Now I have to Google it on a side screen.
yeah,
There's also the snacks we grew up with. I'm kind of like Gushers was a snack. Like I would come home from school and eat Gushers. And now my kids like, I would never let them touch Gushers or fruit by the foot. Like it's so much.
we still do fruit by the foot. I'm not
Dude,
gonna
okay,
lie.
cool.
But
Okay.
the fruit snacks that we like now
Yes.
are the mango. They're like pure mango, and they have the
Oh, yeah.
same consistency and texture as a Gusher, and they
Okay.
hit the spot. And I'm hoping that they're as healthy as they claim to be.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like kudos bars no longer exist, but there are lots of knockoff kudos bars. So there's your
Who knows
nostalgia.
what was in those? Yeah, it's like,
I think a lot of chocolate. They love like granola bars because like this is a granola bar. It's
Yeah.
healthy, and it's like you dip the granola bar in chocolate and
Right.
put caramel on it. It's not health, guys.
but we survived.
We survived somehow. Tell me about like what do you do for a career? I feel like were you like a lawyer, social worker? I feel like you
Yes.
seem like a very motivated, book smart, pretty cool person.
Thank you. Well, it all goes back to that,
Yeah.
mystery birthday party.
That's right.
Yes, all of the above. Thank you. I am motivated. I have always wanted to help women and really make a difference. And I went straight to law school following college. Also pursued my master's in social work at the same time because it turned out I really didn't like law school, but
Yeah.
I got both degrees, worked in law for 10 years, and then pivoted into private practice as a therapist. So my day job, in addition to being a mom, is as a therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in 4 states, and I specialize in supporting women through life transitions.
Cool. What 4 state? Why do you like? How do you choose the 4 states you got licensed in?
Sure. So I live in New York, so New York.
That makes sense.
Right. And then a lot of people who live and work in New York have connections to New Jersey or Connecticut. So it's not a big deal for me. I mean, it's just an extra paperwork and fee
Yeah.
to get the licensure in those states. And then I also am licensed as a provider in Florida, which is sort of my home away from home. It's where my mom grew up, and
Okay.
some of my clients live there. And it's funny because when I was a lawyer, that was more work because I had to take the Florida bar and the New Jersey
Yes.
bar, but I
Yeah.
did do that. So I've always just had a professional foot in those states.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm hearing mostly you say is that like you figure out what a system is and you figure out how to work the best in that system to achieve what you want to achieve in it is kind of what I just heard for all of that.
I hope so.
But like it's like I feel like when you go to college you assume like, oh, I'm gonna do this as my career, whatever. And as I get older, it's like, no, a lot of it's just learning what a system is. How do you get the thing? How do you get to the point where you like in order to do the work you want to do, there's a system you have to figure out to be able to do it. Seems like you're pretty good at figuring out systems to work with it.
Thank you. I think that is true, but there's also a lot of creativity and sort of letting go of expectations. And
Yeah.
I think before we hit record, you made a joke that, as parents, no one knows what they're doing. And I think as grown-ups, no one knows.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
And I never thought I would be at this place in my career. I didn't think I was entrepreneurial.
Mhm.
I always loved psychology and I was interested in being a therapist, but I didn't want to quote unquote just be doing clinical therapy. I wanted to do more advocacy and writing. And now that I've built my own practice and my own business, that is what I'm doing. And I write a lot for blogs and magazines. I wrote a book.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of everything at this point, but it's not something that I could have imagined at 18.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I mean, that seems to be true for anyone once they get into their career. They're like, how'd you get here? And you're like, pulled out a thread. I'm
Yeah.
still pulling at it and people are still paying me to do this. So
Yeah.
until that relationship changes, I'm going to keep on seeing what happens with this.
Yeah. And that's hard advice, I think, to hear in your
Yeah.
20s because, or at least it was for me, because
Mhm.
I like systems. I like
Yeah,
structure.
me too.
I like knowing what's next. And sometimes you do have to just take a leap of faith.
Yeah, you do. I know whenever you are an entrepreneur, it takes up almost all of your mental space. How's your mental space like? Because I feel like your mind's got to be 30 million places at once. Are you
Yeah.
able to keep good, healthy boundaries where you can be mentally present for your kids? Or does it just kind of bleed into everything?
We're recording on the Monday after Thanksgiving, and I really
Yeah.
did take, 5 days. I wasn't working. I barely checked my emails. I was totally present with my family very intentionally. And I do that around, the December holidays too. But my work, fortunately, is something that I really enjoy and am passionate about. So I don't kind of hide it from them.
Yeah.
Bring them into it to the extent that I can. I'm speaking at an event tomorrow, for example, about my book, and my kids and my husband are coming. So,
That's
to the
fun.
extent, I like to bring them in, but I am pretty boundaried, especially around like technology at the
Yeah.
dinner table and
Cool.
things like
Yeah. What is like, I feel like you only learn that boundary the hard way, where you look up and you're like, oh, I haven't paid attention to my kids at the dinner table for like 3 weeks. I need to leave my phone in another room, because it is so easy just to assume, oh, if I just check this email real quick, if I just look at this real quick, then everything will be fine. Your phone and email is an insatiable monster. So you just got to
they're endless. They're endless.
Yeah.
And so that's absolutely accurate for me. I do usually leave my phone in the other room or out of reach, because even if it's in my pocket, I'm tempted, right? We're all conditioned to pick it up. And coming from a legal background where lawyers really are expected to be responsive immediately,
Yeah.
I always was. And that's kind of partly why I left, because nothing really was that urgent.
Yeah. No. But also, like, I've never reached out to a lawyer because of like a positive thing. It's always because of an emergency. So like on the other end, you are like, I need, this is where I can find the answer that I need to know to move forward. And you hold that stress. If you're the lawyer, that's what people are coming with you.
Yes, it depends on the kind of law. And I
Of course.
did business immigration, although I did do a lot of pro bono work.
Yeah.
That wasn't necessarily emergency oriented. It was
Okay,
actually
cool.
more, I think the culture of the law firm is where that urgency comes from.
Nice. Do either of your kids have phones yet? Have you entered
No.
into that world? Yeah, we don't either. Yeah.
No, but they ask all the time.
Yeah.
And, not that they expect it soon, but they'll be like, I'm getting a phone when I go to middle school, right? And
Right.
my husband and I say things like, we'll see. Maybe just because the nature of our town is that a lot of the middle school kids will walk home, and, it's a bit of a walk, but I'm very aware of smartphones and the access to different apps that kids can have and online predators can have.
Yep.
So, I don't know if we'll get them a smartphone when we do get them a phone.
Yeah. Does I live out in Denver suburbs, and the school system that we have doesn't allow cell phones in school at all. Does your school system have anything like that in place?
So I'm in the suburbs of New York in Westchester County, and New York recently enacted an up and away or out and away, whatever it is, the policy to put you can bring your phone to school, you put it away.
Yeah.
And that is the current policy, which I think is great. It's been really interesting to see the reaction, because I would say most parents are in favor of this, but then there are some that say, well, how am I going to reach my kid? It's like, well, you call the front office, right? And I'm not sure if you're familiar with The Anxious Generation, which is
I love Jonathan Haidt. Yep, I've read it. Yep, it's great. Yep.
And I think about this a lot, especially as a therapist, but also as a millennial parent. We are the anxious generation. Yes, we're making our kids anxious with the phones and the conditioning, but it's us. And so when we put this fear in them, like, how am I going to reach you? It's giving them our anxiety. And I think we all need to chill.
Pretty much. And like, I don't know. I remember being a kid, and whenever you see your parents being anxious about something takes up their mental space, you carry it also. You also have a
Course.
relationship with it. So yeah,
Yeah.
if every time I feel like if every time your kid brings something up and you respond anxious and scared, they're going to assume that's something to be scared of. Oh, I can't be reached. Oh, what? Well, why do you need to reach me? What could be happening if I like? So it's also part of being alive. Anxiety is part of it, but
Mhm.
I think, can you have a healthy relationship with anxiety? I'm not really, not really sure.
Yes, I think anxiety can be motivating. I think
Yeah,
if it is consuming you and you don't know how to turn it off, that's when
yeah,
you might need some coping mechanisms, some
yep,
talk therapy. But I think we need a little bit of it to
sure.
have drive.
Yeah. I'll rewatch Inside Out 2 after this call just to get a
Yes,
reminder.
great movie.
That's right. No, I think for our daughters, my son's 4, so he's still got time to figure any of this
Michigan.
stuff out. But like, I think it's going to be more about like what friend groups they have and if they start getting phones. I feel like that's when the conversation, because your community, which also very anxious generation statement, I feel like the community you're in also kind of dictates like, hey, when did your kid get a phone? Well, all my friends have phones. Well, now you're isolated. So how do I handle that part of it too?
I know. And it's a slippery slope because you want, we talked on the phone when we were
Mhm.
growing up, but it
Yeah.
was the landline and we
Yep.
want them to have the connections. And nowadays people text, but then
Yep.
group texts are
Can be scary.
tricky. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but we will figure it out
We will
together.
figure it out.
Yeah.
I think my wife found something. I think it was called like a can phone, where it's like
Uh-huh.
a landline phone that you can get. And I think it's connected to Wi-Fi is how it calls, so you don't need like a direct line. So
Yeah.
I think we're on the wait. We like ordered it, but it was like a wait list before because they'd ran out of
Okay.
it. So yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, I
yeah,
was talking about that in my own group chat with
yeah,
some mom friends, and we were also considering it because, yeah, you should be able to call your
yeah,
friends, but
yeah.
within,
I'm not trying to limit your ability to socialize. I am just aware of who you can get access to once I give you a phone and who can get access to you.
and your
I want
digital footprint.
and your digital footprint. I know you also like create content and everything. That's always a fascinating thing in my head is like to not make my kids part of the content I create, to make content about being a dad, but they're not my content is always a really fun mental game to play. I don't know if you ever experienced that as well.
I certainly do. Like I said, I write for a lot of blogs and magazines. And for a couple of years, I was a monthly contributor to a local motherhood or
Hmm.
parenting blog.
Yeah.
And as my kids got older, I thought I don't want to put their faces
Yeah.
on the internet anymore. That was my choice, and everyone can do whatever they want. But it definitely was a thing to navigate
Yeah.
because it was, I would go to events like mommy and me events and be like, hold up the bag in front of your face because I would hide them.
Yeah.
But you have to do what you're comfortable with, I think.
You do. I don't know. Hopefully, when you feel that like dissonance inside yourself of like, I don't feel good about this, you listen to it and you make
Exactly.
corrections. So that's
Yeah.
all you can hope for.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of writing, that's my attempt to segue into talking about your
Well
book.
done.
Hey, you wrote a book recently. Can you please tell me
Did.
about the book that you wrote?
Sure. I'm just pulling up a copy here.
Yes.
So it's called Millennial Menopause, Preparing for Perimenopause, Menopause, and Life's Next Period, because I am a millennial, as we've said, woven throughout. I'm
Hmm.
40, born in 1985, and as I also mentioned, have always been passionate about women's rights, women's mental health, women's health in general. But
Yeah.
as I was approaching my 40s, I realized I knew nothing about menopause. And I
Hmm.
started asking questions and writing down the answers, and it turned into the book.
Yeah. That's awesome. I
Thank
feel
you.
like, our generation is doing a bunch of research on what our parents' health conditions are because our parents, a lot of them didn't take the time to figure out what it meant. They were just like, I know my body did this today.
Yeah.
So what was it like researching for this book? Did you talk more to doctors? How much of this is like your personal journey with knowing this is coming up for you in life versus like medically, here's what this all means?
I would say it's more of the latter.
Hmm.
I wanted to answer all the questions I had, all the questions my friends and clients had. And then,
Yeah.
of course, I do implement what I've learned into my practice as a mental health provider. And I'm seeing the mood symptoms and I'm seeing these identity shifts. And a few years ago, I wouldn't have known that it was perimenopause, but now I have this knowledge. So I interviewed up to, I think it was 4 dozen experts. Many were doctors, OBGYNs, internists, and also nutritionists, sleep specialists, journalists, professors who study women's and gender issues, startup founders, because this is definitely a space where there are now, but only now, a lot of products and services geared towards women. So it was a labor of love for sure. Talk about boundaries. And it was hard work, but because I was so interested in it, I genuinely enjoyed the research and the writing process.
Cool.
Thank
I
you.
feel like I've heard some about menopause, but perimenopause, I feel like is a whole new thing that I'm just seeing written anywhere. Give me like a brief definition of what it is. When does it start? Take your years of research and condense them down to 3 sentences. That'd be great.
No problem. And I love answering this question because I didn't know anything either.
Yeah.
So menopause is the end of fertility, and it's basically when women's ovaries stop functioning and they stop producing estrogen. And it's marked by 1 year after the final menstrual period. Often we know women have hot flashes around this time, but that's kind of all I knew. The average age of menopause is 51 in the US, and the time period leading up to that is called perimenopause. It can start in one's late 30s, early 40s, last for a decade, and it's marked by fluctuating hormones that can lead to a variety of mental and physical health symptoms. So here we are.
It's so fascinating to learn about the human body because you just get ranges. It's like, I don't know, you might start at 38, you might start at 42. You might. How do I know if it is? I don't know. Just notice your symptoms. Write them down, I guess.
So I were being silly, but that's exactly right. Like
it is though, yeah.
Write it down. If something's bothering you, speak up about it, and don't take, you're too young for this as your answer, and get the help you need. Help is available. A lot of women, especially in the generation of our parents, were told that this is just midlife, suck it up, nothing you can do. And that's not true. And you should be able to get whatever treatment you need.
Yeah. What type of treatments are available? Like if you are starting perimenopause, like what's something you can do to help out with it?
Sure. So in general, there are lifestyle modifications that we all probably should be doing, right? Like prioritizing sleep and good nutrition, stress reduction, good social connection. That's so good for our cognitive health, way later on. That is something that we need to be doing. Strength training as a form of exercise is especially important for women as they age because we lose our bone density and our lean muscle mass. And then there's medicine if we feel like we need it. And there are a variety of medical options like mental health options, antidepressants, if that's what you need, hormone therapy, or some sort of combination. Also non-hormonal pharmaceuticals, non-hormonal supplements some people like. So there are a variety of options, and it's important to know them. And that's why I wrote the book, because I wanted women and anyone who cares about them to be informed and not scared.
Yeah, of course. Having kids, especially daughters, I try to lean into like, hey, this is what your body's going to do.
Exactly.
So like, how do we learn about this? Because acting like it doesn't exist, like my daughters are both going to get their period. They're both going to be teenage daughters. So why would I I should learn more about the subject. It's going to be my life and my reality. And ignoring it or acting like, oh, I just didn't know is like, by doing that, I feel like I'm isolating people that I love. My discomfort is what I'm leading with. And that's not the type of person I want to be.
I love that. And I think that's so beautiful. And it's also okay to say things like, this is a little awkward to talk about, or I don't have all the answers, but just talking about it is huge.
Yeah, I think so too. Whenever you started writing the book, did you have like one big question you wanted to get answered? Or is it more just like a general, I want to learn everything I can about this subject?
It was, what the fuck is menopause?
What the fuck is, I don't even know what is it.
I was like, what is that? Like, I knew it meant no more fertility and probably hot flashes.
And some hormone stuff. Yeah.
And at first, I thought, okay, well, I've always been more qualitative, so maybe I missed that lesson in bio, right? But no,
Yeah.
it turned out most of my physician friends also got very little education on menopause. And when I
Yeah.
started doing the digging, I realized that this issue was everything I have always been interested in, which is women's access to healthcare, their bodily autonomy,
Yep.
workplace policies that can benefit them,
Yeah.
and just women's rights. So,
Yeah, pretty much. And also, like, I don't know, communicating to women that if you aren't fertile, you still have a purpose. Like, it's
yes,
like, you know,
absolutely.
which I have no ground to speak on at all as a man. But like, it's like, no, it's culturally, how do you make sure that women, like, fertility is a pretty big thing. So if you aren't fertile, you clearly still have a purpose and still are loved, but like are not normally how you might feel because of how culture values you. So,
And Hollywood and
yeah,
all of it.
Okay. So my wife is 38. Based on the stats you just told me, in the next 5 years, I'd expect her to enter into this phase of her life. What advice would you give me as I'm about to enter into this phase?
I love this question. So, first of all, read my book, get her a copy, and there's a chapter specifically for men, and you should start with that. And then I think you'll want to read the whole thing.
Yes.
But in general, be patient, be supportive, be vocal in terms of asking how you can support her. Never tell her to calm down. That's a good rule of life.
Yep.
I think it is so valuable to have someone, whether it's a partner or a sibling or a friend, kind of be on the outside and say, you know, I feel like you've maybe been handling things differently than you used to. Like, is something stressing you out? Or I read, you know, about menopause, like it's a natural phase for one's in one's 40s. Could this be what's going on for you? How can I help you?
Yeah. Is this something where like doctors are getting more educated on it? Because you just said like there are medicines, there are things you can do. If you went to like your general, like your GP or something like that, or primary care physician, would they know this world, or you kind of have to find someone who specializes in it, do you think?
I would say at this point in time, you usually have to find someone who specializes in it, but it's always a good idea to just ask your provider, hey, you know, what do you know about menopause?
Yeah.
The guidelines now from the Menopause Society, which is the preeminent professional organization, suggest that providers should have conversations about menopause and perimenopause with patients beginning at 35.
Okay.
No one does that. No one does that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I was like, what?
Right. So, and that's to open the door to answer questions and to say, you know, if things start looking, you know, different, if you're suddenly getting acne or you can't sleep or your anxiety, like, let's talk about it. Don't dismiss it.
Okay.
We're not at the point yet where that is common, but that is in the guidelines. So hopefully we are moving towards it. We are getting more, you know, providers getting training. We're getting more funding for training. We're seeing policies being proposed in different state legislatures about continuing education for providers. So we're moving in the right direction, but we're not there yet.
Cool. That makes sense. And I mean, if you just did all the research on this and you didn't know what the heck an event meant, like that, I mean, I feel like that's a good sign of like, do we have a shared definition? No. Oh, there's a lot of work to be done here.
There's a lot of work to be done, but I'm hopeful. I'm trying to be hopeful.
Yeah. You know what? I think starting a conversation is most of the battle. So, you know, if you can get people to start discussing that this even exists, then that's a massive step one.
Totally.
Also, what a fun lane for you to be in for like women's rights and equalities, being like, hey, here's a phase that every woman will enter into. Let's talk about it. Let's bring this to light and let's have community around this instead of isolation.
Exactly. You summed up my mission there, but I really believe that. And, you know, people are like, oh, menopause. And it's like, well, that's the point, right? Why are we being weird about it and kind of associating a yuck factor to it? Like, it's very natural and it's just human development.
Yeah, it is. And like, if anything, it should cause you to be more like, I don't know. I don't have anything that my body does where my hormones flare up. I have like stuff where I can't predict what my body's doing. So like, just be more empathetic, man. Like, just do it. That's all you gotta do.
You'll like the chapter because one of the subtitles is "Don't be a dickhead." So yeah.
Yeah, just like, hey, did you wait? Like, I can wake up and predict what my body will do almost every day. If you're going through menopause, I bet you're like, I don't know. Correct. This is what I feel like right now. So you're the one who isn't going through something. Be the nice one. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say.
Let's make merch that says that. Yeah.
Deal. What before we start like wrapping up and everything, is there anything else you want to say about your book besides, like here's where you find it and all that stuff? Is there anything else you learned while writing it that'd be like you really want to make sure to highlight or talk about?
I learned so much, and the book is funny. It's full of pop culture references. It's like talking to me, talking to a friend, and people do read it in one sitting, or they'll go back and kind of look for advice on whatever they need, whether it's navigating menopause issues at work or how to find a doctor or, well-vetted resources. So I think it's a great place to start, a good, birthday gift for someone turning 35 or 40 or whatever.
Yes.
Milestone. And it is of course geared towards millennial women, but like I said, it's truly for anyone who cares about them. So it's been a lot of fun. I've been traveling and doing events throughout the country and meeting people from all walks of life, all different life ages and stages, and the conversation is meaningful no matter, who it is that I'm speaking with. So it's been a lot of fun.
Have you ever done a book tour before? Is this your first book tour that you've done?
Yeah, it's my first book tour.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Do you bring your family for any of the events? I know you said you were going to bring them to like a speaking engagement soon.
Yes, some of them. Not usually when I'm traveling, if it works out, sure. But
yeah.
Tomorrow I'm speaking in my own neighborhood, so they're
Sure.
coming, and they've come to a couple of other things.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Where all is your book tour going? Are you staying in the New England or East Coast, or are you heading out west?
So I've already been to LA, Palo Alto, Denver, and in 2026, I'll be in a lot of New York, but also New Jersey and San Diego and Jacksonville, Florida coming up.
Sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's really a mix of events at wellness centers or, with other providers or with other authors at bookstores. Like it's a really fun part of this journey.
That's cool. When you do that, are you out of the house for like a week at a time? Like how do you manage that? Like being on a book tour with family time, basically. How do you feel like you're figuring out that balance so far?
The longest I've been away was a couple weeks ago. I was in Miami for 3 nights. Usually I try to just go one night.
Okay.
That trip, I ended up this is such a mom moment, parenting moment. I got strep at the end. I was a complete mess.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. You have to, I got through my events, but as soon as I got home, I
collapsed.
Literally. So thank goodness for antibiotics. My son, of course, also had strep. It's that time of year. All that is to say, I try to go away 1 to 2 nights only. And,
cool.
My husband is like you, very active and involved parent, co-parent, and we make it work.
Pretty much. My wife travels for work. She's currently away on a work trip right now, and it's a 2-night work trip. And whenever it gets to be 3 to 4 nights, it is a different vibe. It's fascinating how like 1 or 2 nights away, okay, everyone's good. When it gets to night 3 or 4, kids are a little bit more like, wait, but seriously, where is she? Like, what's going on? And you're like, she also hates this. I'm sorry.
I know. But of course, it's hard to be away from my kids.
It is.
But I also enjoy the alone
Absolutely.
time.
Yeah. I had on a musician once. He has 4 kids. And I was like, oh, how's it feel when you get to a hotel room and there's no one else there? And he was like, honestly, it depends on the week. Some weeks I'm like, I am screwing over my wife. Like I need to be home and helpful. And other times I'm like, it's really nice to not have any needs to meet right now. So that's reality.
2 things can be true.
2 things can be true. Sometimes you've got guilt because you're away. Sometimes you're really appreciative for some quiet.
Exactly.
Okay. So how I end every episode is I ask every guest a series of 5 questions. They're pretty lighthearted and fun.
I'm excited.
They're not rapid fire, but the first question is, did you have any backup names for your kids? Like, did you have any names you almost named your children?
We had a list for each, and then we said, as soon as we meet them, we will know. Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you remember any of the names on the list?
For my son, who's my first, I do. His name is Luke, and I always liked Nathan or Jake.
Okay.
Which I still do, but we're done.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
yeah.
Naming another person is so fascinating because like imagine meeting a stranger and guessing their name and being like, no, this is your name. That's what it feels like. You're like, I don't know your personality, but here's your name. Have fun.
It's really hard. Yeah. It's a weird concept for sure.
It is. Okay. Next question. Do you have a favorite TV, movie? I'll add book to it. Who's your favorite like fictional like book character mom? Who's like one of your favorite moms that you've ever like in like a form of entertainment?
I love the mom in Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And that was a book, that defined my childhood. But seeing the movie recently with Rachel McAdams playing the mom, I identified more with the mom, of course, in this phase of life, but it was really interesting. And then TV, I always really loved the mom in Modern Family. I just think she's so funny and dry, and it's a great show.
I think because that came out like in the 2010s and like I would have been in my 20s, didn't think I was still figuring out, am I going to get married or have a kid? So I like would watch it, be entertained by it. But now as like I was a real grown up.
Yeah.
I feel like I watched like Phil and I'm like, you're actually a pretty solid dad. Like you're
Wonderful.
pretty good.
Yeah. He's a good dad. He's just a little goofy, but that's okay.
He's a little goofy, but he understands. He's a goofy dad. He's like the buffoon TV dad, but knows when to be serious and sincere. And they wrote him very well.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Next question. You might not have one. Do you have a go-to replacement curse word? Like if you stub your toe at home, or do you just say the F word?
We say the F word. In my family, we have a rule. You can curse and I always use that example, if you stub your toe or but never curse, at someone and never call them the name. And I just, much like menopause, I normalize using that kind of language. I don't know. I don't care.
That's awesome. I feel like that we also have to add the caveat of like in our house. So if you're at a friend's house, like if you're at school, just know I know you know what this word is. I know you know what it means. If I get a call from someone else that you use this word, the consequences will be different. So just know some code switching, guys. Come on.
We do. And it's silly. We don't take it so seriously.
No. And sometimes the F word is the appropriate form of expression.
Correct.
I also think it's fun whenever your kids do get old enough where they can understand like when's the time to tell a joke or use a word is one of my favorite, like for them to understand those social settings is one of my like favorite things.
I know. And their little voices like saying it. It's just very funny. I don't know. If that's their, worst problem, I hope it is.
I hope so. Right. Next question. What's like one of your favorite things to do with your kids? Like favorite activity, favorite toy, something like that?
I love to travel. Going back to your business trip question, I've always been pretty easy on planes and all that. And of course, traveling with children is not always easy, but my husband and I, we do try to take them, on adventures, and we have a lot of family in California and Florida. Doing that is important. We just booked a trip to Venice, so I'm excited about that.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the hope my wife and I have for our kids also is just travel, get you guys out in the world, get new experiences, because there's nothing like just seeing what another city is like, I feel like, for you to learn from it.
Yeah. And there's going to be complaints,
Oh,
That's just
without
what
question.
It is. But
I didn't want to go to this city. It's like, all right, cool. Sounds good.
Right.
Appreciate it. Okay. And for last question, I'll give you the option. Do you want sincere or silly? Which one do you want? Or you can do both. You can make it 6 questions.
Both.
Okay. I'll do silly first.
Okay.
What's your least favorite kid show? Like whenever your kids go to watch it, you're like, this is a piece of crap. I hate this show.
I feel bad, but my daughter likes the show called Gumball on Netflix, and I just think it's dumb, and the dad character is sort of an idiot, and I don't like that. I don't like media.
Me either.
Yeah. And I don't like media where, only mom knows what's going on and dad's sort of a fool.
Yeah.
So that's not up there. But I love Bluey.
Bluey's awesome. You can't go wrong with it ever.
It's so good. So there's lots of good stuff, but
There is. My middle child still really likes like some of the Disney Junior shows, like Super Kitties, where I'm like, I can't, this show so much. I'm sorry. I can do a lot of shows, but I'm like, I'm going to go figure out what else needs to be cleaned.
Yeah.
You guys watch this show.
I'm very familiar with Super Kitties.
I'm good. It's so much. I'm a nerdy music person in the music. I'm like, this is so, I can't do the show. I'm sorry, guys.
Now I have that theme song stuck in my head.
You're welcome. Super kitties. Yeah, it's a lot.
It is.
Okay. And then last question.
Yes.
Is there a moment of your kid's life you're most excited to see them be a part of? Some phase of life you're like, oh man, I can't wait until you reach this point. Anything like that, where you look at your kid's life and you're like, can't wait until you get to this point of your journey.
It's a really good question. I don't think I have one moment in mind because I do try to be very present. And as cheesy as this is, in my experience, it has only gotten better. And so I'm trying to just enjoy it, as it comes.
Yeah, that's real. Because I mean, I think, sure, you might be excited for graduation of some sort, but like,
I don't want to rush it.
You don't. And if you're not mentally present for the little moments, I feel like that worries me to think about that I could ever do that.
Yeah. So I'll let you know one day when I'm looking back.
You're like, oh man, this is awesome. I talk to a lot of musicians, and some of them are like, oh man, whenever they find their creative outlet, whenever they find their creative thing, which they feel like it's their thing, I'm so excited to help them with that journey. So wide range of answers. Anyway, I also want to make sure to give you a moment to like plug your book. Just be like, hey, if we want to follow you on Instagram, find you, plug yourself, do all the promotion. How do we learn more about you?
Thank you. So if you go to millennialmenopause.com, you'll find info on my events, on my practice, and on the book, which is available wherever books are sold, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, bookstores. And I'm on Instagram as the counselor, but L-A-U-R for Lauren, because I like puns.
Of course. What, do you have an audiobook of it? I'm an audiobook person.
Yes.
Okay, good.
It's not me reading, but the narrator did a beautiful job, and it's on audiobook. Yeah.
Awesome. But, thank you for letting me learn more about menopause and your journey with learning about it. And, I'll figure out where I can find the audiobook, because if I buy the physical book, it'll take me 3 months to read it. But an audiobook, I'll listen through like in a week.
On Amazon.
Nice. There you go. Thank you. Way to know your stuff.
Yeah, right there. Accessible.
Love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lauren.
Just like the headphones.
Just like the headphones. You can find headphones, everything. And it's Cyber Monday, technically. All right. I got to Google some stuff after this. But Lauren, thank you so much for your time. If you're out in Denver area and I see you doing a book tour, I'll do everything I can to come out so I can hopefully meet you, say hi to you, all that good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Perfect. And enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you around. All right. Bye, Lauren.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Imperfect Dads Podcast. And make sure to give us 5 stars wherever you listen to us. Music, editing, and production is all done by me. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and most Thursdays for new episodes. This podcast is part of the Never a Phase Network. Make sure to go to neveraphasenetwork.com to learn more about them.